Okay, let's get this started. Welcome back to Crunch Time. This is the show where we go over the slate overview in 1 hour each and every day, 2 hours before lock. We have some good narratives today. I think it's a 9-game slate. And then we also have some, some bragging to do from yesterday. Turn and burn again. Had another takedown in NFL, I believe. And then, yeah, I guess you can go over that one, Chris. And how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty well. Hopefully everyone's having a good day. Yeah, this is pretty cool. We had Turn and Burn had another takedown. So obviously this is the showdown slate for the Dolphins-Bills game yesterday. 2,500 to first, pretty cool. Obviously he had Davis in the captain slot. That was probably a little unique, but it got him there. He said he locked Allen, lowered Tua, and raised Davis. So yeah, all that worked out. Hopefully we can do it again today with NBA.
Yeah, he's been on a pretty good streak. I think on the 27th, he got around over 40,000, like close to 45. So He's been doing quite well. Hopefully he can go full-time cruncher. That'd be sweet. I told him that. He said he wishes, so we'll see. If he keeps it up, he might do pretty well. Yeah, and the narrative we have today is birthday stream for you today, Chris. So LeBron had the birthday game recently. You have the birthday DFS day. Do you think that's going to make you a bit sharper today, or what do you think, 1 year older?
Yeah, I mean, the birthday days, that just means you have to go all in DFS, and you always win. There's no way to lose.
Is that what you're doing?
That's not what I'm doing, but it's probably what I should do, just with the narrative there, but we'll have to wait and see.
All right, sounds good. Yeah, you do have an hour before the lock to go all in on some more contests.
Trust me, I'll be entering throughout the show, as I always do.
Okay. Trigger's back. He says happy birthday, same as Rondo.
Thank you.
Okay, first game, we can do, what is it? Cleveland against Orlando. I guess before we start, the big news today, I think, is just Luka, Smart, Johnson, and Gallinari. Those are the big things we're looking at. Is there anything I'm missing? Just overall. So
we have Blake out for the Pistons today, back end of a back-to-back. That's pretty big. Josh Jackson also out. So we'll have some bumps to some Detroit guys. We also got news like around a minute ago from Shams. He said that Kevin Durant has to go through health protocols. So I think he's going to be out for probably a week now. Yeah, we'll have to see what else comes in throughout the show.
Yeah. Another happy birthday from Ariane for you. Trigger's just asking about the Hernan Gomez start yesterday. How did that do?
I think he had a nice dunk, but outside of that,
did he hit value?
Don't think he did very well. Let me just check real quick. If you want to just go over the YouTube thing.
Oh yeah. Some housekeeping as always. If you guys like this content, if you've been here before, be sure to like the video. That helps us out a lot with discoverability. And then also, if you want to get notified when we go live every day, 2 hours before the main slate starts, you can hit the subscribe and the bell button. And that way you'll get an email each time we go live. It's solid DFS content. It's free. It's every day. So yeah, good place to be. Good place to get notified in your email directly. Did you find the Hernan Gomez stat line?
Yeah, so he played 26 minutes, got 15 fantasy points, 6 real life points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists. So, I mean, for his price, not awful, but definitely didn't smash or break the slate.
Yeah, hopefully there's another piece like that today.
I mean, with Trigger, there always is. There always seems to be someone.
Hopefully there's another piece like that from Trigger today. Let's go over Cleveland. Right now we have Kevin Porter out, Garland, questionable. Windler, out. Okoro, questionable. Delvedova, still out. Starters, we have Garland, Sexton, Okoro if he's in, Nance, Drummond. Is Okoro playing today?
So I think we're still waiting on Garland as well. I think he's still listed as questionable. We'll just have to wait and see with this team. Like, if Garland is out, obviously we'll have a bump to Sexton. If he's in, not too much in this game for me. One of the lowest totals on the slate. They only have an implied team total of 105, so that's pretty low. Larry Nance's priced up now. Drummond had an awful game last time out. Still around the same price. I don't mind him in tournaments, but not someone I'm targeting. So yeah, I guess if Garland is out, we'll take some shots here, but we'll just have to wait and see on that one. Luckily, it's the first game of the slate, so we should know in time before lock.
Makes it easier always when it's the first game with the news. Next up, Orlando. Let's go Orlando. Fournier, questionable. Ennis, questionable. Starters, Fultz, Carter-Williams, Bacon, Gordon, Vucevic. Michael Carter-Williams was the value piece last time. How did he do for us?
I think he might have missed value slightly. Yeah, he went 4x, only 15 fantasy points. Didn't kill us, but definitely wasn't didn't smash. Luckily he was chalk, so he was more of like a block piece in cash games. Yeah, but same sort of thing as Cleveland here. Like, we'll have to wait and see if Fournier's out. Obviously, if he's out, they're probably going to start MCW again. I'll have some interest, but we have a bigger slate today, so it's not as needed. These guys are tournament only for me. Vucevic always has upside. Pretty good matchup against Cleveland, but still, as I said earlier, the lowest game total of the entire slate. So I don't love him, but obviously always tournament viable. And then one last guy I'll mention is Markelle Fultz over on Fanduel. 5.8K. If Fournier's out, that'll obviously boost him up as well. So we'll just have to wait and see on the Fournier news. But you can take some shots on someone like Fultz or Vucevic in tournaments today.
Yep. Let me just open up the next game. I think we're getting a bit of updates now, so the tool's a bit slow. That's something we'll fix soon. There we go. I guess for the new players, anyone new to DFS, an NBA value just means points. Like, if a player hits 5x their points per $1,000, so that's what value means. And then chalk just means like a high owned player. Basic DFS stuff. You should all know that.
Yeah. You should all know that.
Well, you should know about it, no?
Yeah. So
something you should know about.
So value is like let's say a player is 10,000. He costs 10K. If he hits 50 points, that's 5x, 10 times 5, or 10K times 5, that's 5x. If he's 5K, 5x would obviously be 25. Just like as a baseline, if you're spending up on someone, you usually want them to get 5x. Like someone around 9K, 10K, 11K, you want 5x. Someone cheaper, like a value piece at minimum price, you probably want around 6x. But usually it doesn't hurt you if they don't perform well just because they're so popular. Yeah, for mid-range players, around 5 to 6x as well. So yeah.
Yeah, laughing at me for bringing that up, but that's some good insight there. Not everyone knows this stuff.
I was laughing just because you said it sounded like you're like, you should know this.
No. Well, it's something you should know. Like, because you bring up the term quite often, just in case someone doesn't know. You should know about it. Next game, we have Charlotte at Philadelphia. Philadelphia side, Mike Scott out. Starters, we have Simmons, Curry, Green, Harris, Embiid. Any interest on the Sixers side in this game?
So, as I always say with this team, seems like every time we go over them, just they're not in a great environment here against Charlotte. 8-point spread favoring Philly. Decent team total, 115, so that's interesting, but you never know with the blowout. You never know who's going to get there on this team. Like, these guys are priced up. They're not priced to smash their price tags, so they don't really stand out to me. Tobias, I think he's way too expensive now. 8K on FanDuel, 7.6 on DraftKings, so that's a stay away for me. Embiid, Simmons, tournament only. Not really anyone else here that interests me.
Okay, Hasty says Tobias again. I think you just said that, a little bit priced up now, but any interest there for tournaments?
I mean, last game he put up 4 steals, 3 blocks. So on FanDuel, that's 7 times 3 because each one of those is 3 points. So he put up an extra 21 points just from steals and blocks. Obviously, that's not sustainable. He put up 60 FanDuel points. If you get rid of those steals and blocks, like around 40. So 8K now. It doesn't really make sense to me in this matchup.
Yeah, it's tough. Tough buy. Trigger saying LaMelo on DK. We'll go over that just now. Charlotte, no new injury news there to watch out for. Starters, Graham, Rozier, Hayward, Washington, Biyombo. Yeah, LaMelo's been looking pretty good fantasy-wise. I haven't watched the games too closely, so I'm not sure if he's having a big impact on the game's actual, like, basketball-wise. But what do you think of him?
Yeah, I love LaMelo on DraftKings. He's cheaper than FanDuel. He's 5'6" compared to 6'4". Just like everything lines up for him. His minutes have been trending up. Like he should see around 30 minutes. That's always nice. He grades out to be a strong fantasy point per minute player, so that's good as well. Just the price tag is too cheap. He's cash viable. Probably going to be popular in tournaments. So I guess you can use that as leverage if you want, or you could just play him. I do like him a lot over on DK. On FanDuel, probably tournament only for me. Someone here that stands out is Devontae Graham. 5.4K on FanDuel, a bit more on DraftKings, 5.7K, but this is pretty cheap for him. It's not a great game environment. Philly is tough defensively, so it's not the best option, but if you want to take some shots on Devontae Graham in tournaments, I don't mind that. If you're playing him as the last piece in cash, I don't mind that either, but I probably don't think we need it on this slate.
Okay. One thing you guys might have noticed, I actually got the player name column to actually stay here, so when I scroll through the stats, you can still see the player name. If you're using the tool and you're looking for that, it's just in the settings. If you enable the sticky table toggle here, that'll set that up for you, and then you can actually put any column here that you want to be stickied when you're scrolling horizontally, so that's quite useful. I didn't have that on before because I forgot about it because there's so many features in this tool, but I found it last night and I was pretty happy, pretty excited to have it on for today because it makes it a lot easier when you're scrolling through all the data columns.
Maybe you can lock salary as well. I think that'll also make it easier to view.
Salary. Yeah, so
yeah.
Pretty slick. Let me do that for DraftKings too before we go into the next one. We have Boston against Toronto. I'll just do that after I go over it while you're talking. Boston side of things, we have Green out, Smart questionable, something important to look out for today, and Teague out for them. Starters, we have Smart if he's in, Brown, Tatum, Tice, Thompson. Is Smart playing today?
I mean, that's what we're gonna have to wait on. I don't have a strong lean on that. He's questionable, so usually take that as 50-50. Just because he's Marcus Smart, he doesn't seem to miss games usually. I would lean on the side that he's playing. If he's out, obviously we'll have more interest in these guys, but if he's in, I don't mind him on FanDuel, 5.7K. Not a bad price tag, but more of a last piece for me. Not someone I'm interested in tournaments, more of a cash play. Jason Tatum, over on DraftKings, 8.6K. I do like that price tag. 9-1 on FanDuel is fine in tournaments as well. I think we have better power forwards to choose from on FanDuel, but I like that price tag on DraftKings. Anyone else here? Jaylen Brown, he's still priced up. No interest there for me, really. Tough matchup against Toronto. Low-scoring game. We expect it to be tight. Toronto's favored by 5 right now. I'm kind of surprised by that spread. I would expect it to be closer or even Boston favored. So if you are looking to bet on something with a bookie, I do like Boston +5 today. So yeah, not too much here. Not too much interest outside of Tatum on DraftKings. Smart, last piece on FanDuel.
Okay, we have a question from the last game. I missed it. Hasty commented on Graham saying he's been playing bad, hence more LaMelo. And then Trigger followed up with Simmons guarding Hayward too.
Yeah, so tough matchup for Hayward. I didn't mention him when we went over Charlotte. Just he's priced up. Like tough matchup here against the Sixers, so I didn't see a reason to mention him. Yeah, Yeah, Graham has been bad, but his price tag is decreased now, so that's why I mentioned him. It's a good opportunity to buy low in tournaments.
Okay.
And you can use him. You can use him as leverage over LaMelo, who's going to be popular.
Yeah. Question from FIFA Cash Core. We'll go over that near the end. That's probably.
I can probably just go over like some quick guys like on FanDuel. Steph Curry, I love him. De'Aaron Fox. A lot of guys from the late game, so Bagley as well. Randall, he's standing out for me. And then over on DraftKings, LaMelo Ball, we touched on him. DeLon Wright, we'll touch on the Pistons. Sadiq Bey, and probably Holmes as well. So if you want to just look at those guys for now, that's a good starting point.
Okay. And then Hasty saying Pritchard, love that kid on the Boston side. What do you think of him? He seems like a player Hasty would like.
Yeah, so he fits that Aaron Kraft, TJ McConnell mold. Just I think he's awful. Like he's just like he doesn't do much. He's just like he's out there to get exercise. He's out there to move the ball. Like he's a glue piece, I guess. But I don't know. I'm not too big of a fan. I guess he sort of fits the Celtics. Like he'll get the ball to Tatum. He'll get the ball to Brown. Like that's all you need. All you need with your point guard.
So not a fantasy guy, but maybe like if you love basketball, you can root for him for sure there, but not on the fantasy side of things.
Like he'll get up in your face. He'll do the things that Hasty likes. No interest in DFS for me.
Pritchard's a sniper from Trigger. Also comment, it would be nice if Luke Walton was competent.
Yeah, I remember one time we were going over the Kings, someone said Luke Walton for Coach of the Year.
Probably Trigger.
Luke Walton is awful.
Yeah. Okay, Toronto side, McCaw out. Starters, Lowry, Van Fleet, Anunoby, Siakam, Baines. Siakam has looked absolutely awful this year. Like, I think he's taking some steps back. Do you think it's that, like, contract money? Do you think he's just done with the game? Like, what's going on there? I'm kind of concerned.
I mean, I'm glad that you're finally admitting it, but he's been getting into some foul trouble. 5 fouls in one game, 6 in another, and then 6 again in another. So 3 out of the 4 games he's been in foul trouble. It's a pretty good buy low spot, to be honest.
Yeah. So
did you go over the starters?
Okay? Yeah.
Pardon?
Yeah, I did go over the starters.
Okay, so yeah, like Siakam tournament only for me. Better price on FanDuel, 7-2, as I mentioned. I do like that as a buy low. Obviously, tough matchup here against the Celtics. Should be a pretty low-scoring game. Outside of Siakam, Freddie has looked good, but price tag is up. No, not really any interest for me there. Lowry, same sort of thing. No interest. Chris Boucher, he's been playing well. His price is up. I don't know if you want to chase that, but you can in tournaments. Not really anyone here that interests me outside of Siakam in tournaments.
Yeah, I might be interested in Boucher, but in tournaments, but I'll take a look at that later on. And yeah, I have seen Siakam on some milk cartons in Canada. He's definitely made his way there. I've been seeing Siakam on T-shirts as well from Trigger.
Yeah, he's definitely missing in action.
Yep. Next game we have New York against Atlanta. Let me just load that up here. Let's load it up here. Okay. Okay, we can go over New York side. Dennis Smith doubtful. Frank Ntilikina out. Burks questionable. Toppin out. Knox probable, and Spellman doubtful. Starters we have Payton, Barrett, Bullock, Randall, Robinson. Any interest in the Knicks today?
Yeah, so we're finally getting to some of the better games here. We'll go over Detroit soon, and then that's the last bad game. So this game is interesting. Pretty good total. It's at 224 right now. So the Knicks are obviously in this great matchup against the Hawks. Implied to score 108, which is pretty low, but we know that they have condensed usage, and Randall is their main guy. He handles the ball a lot. I really like his price tag over on FanDuel. He's 8.1K, 9K on DraftKings. That's just too expensive for me. I think he has 50-point upside here, triple-double upside. Plays a ton of minutes, so we definitely like that for FanDuel today. Another guy here that stands out is RJ Barrett. Assuming that Alec Burks is going to miss this game just because he's been questionable a lot in the previous games, and he's always been ruled out. So I think that will continue. I think he's going to be out. So I do like RJ Barrett. Obviously, I mentioned the easy matchup against the Hawks. He shoots the ball a ton. He finally found his stroke last game. Played 42 minutes, so that's what we like. 6.1K over on Fanduel. I like that price tag. 6.7 on DraftKings, just too expensive for me. So mostly just Randall and Barrett, and their prices definitely fit much better over on Fanduel.
Yeah. Question from Hasty. He's saying he noticed Randall's price tag difference on both sites. I think it's 900 cheaper on Fanduel, 8.1 versus 9K. Is he worth it on DraftKings, I guess?
Well, on Fanduel, he's definitely worth it. I probably view him as a lock, but on DraftKings, like triple-double upside, like I mentioned, obviously he fits that DraftKings scoring. Just because you get extra points for the triple-double, you get less points for turnovers. He seems to turn the ball over a lot, so you can take some shots. He's definitely going to be more popular on Fanduel. Yeah, but it's a really good matchup, so definitely don't have problems playing him for 9K on DraftKings.
Yep. And then Trigger's asking thoughts on Capella on Fanduel. Just quickly, I do notice we have him at 21% projected ownership on DraftKings, and then half of that, 10% on Fanduel. What do you think of Capella on Fanduel?
I guess since we could just go over the starters for the Hawks here, and then I can go over Capella.
Sure. Injuries on the Hawks, just Rondo doubtful, Kongwu out, Herder questionable, Snell injured. Starters, Young, Reddish, Hunter, Collins, Capella. So I guess you can jump right into the Capella question right away.
Yeah, so Capella, he's grading out to be much better on DraftKings. 6.1K. He just fits the builds. I think he's a bit too much over on FanDuel. 6.5. We have other guys that we can target at center. You can only pick one, as I always say, over on FanDuel. So, I mean, you can play him over on FanDuel, but probably tournament only for me. Not someone that I really want to play today. His minutes have been trending upwards. He's been seeing 30 minutes in the last two games, so that's always a good sign. Definitely has slate breaking upside, but I don't know. I just think I would prefer to get someone like Rashawn Holmes. We'll talk about him later. That's going to be the best game of the slate, but definitely some good leverage here if you want it with Capella. So I don't hate that. If you want to use him in cash, don't hate it. I like him in tournaments as well. And then the rest of these guys, Trae Young, obviously always tournament viable. 9.4K on FanDuel is pretty nice. What is he on DraftKings? 9.8?
Yep. Yeah,
so I don't mind that. Tournament only for me, probably, just because we have cheaper guys. We have guys like Steph Curry we'll talk about later in the best game environment. So just tournament only. You'll probably get some lower ownership on him. Obviously, he has slate breaking upside as well. The thing is with Atlanta games, you always have the potential for them to shoot out just because they play so fast. They don't play great defense. They push the ball. They do all the things that you like in DFS. So if you want to target like two, 3 guys from this game on each team, I don't mind it as a game stack. Should be pretty low owned, just because, as I keep saying, we have a better game later that we'll go over.
Yeah.
John Collins, last guy I'll mention here, 6.8 on FanDuel. I don't mind that as a last piece. With Capella there, just it sort of hurts his upside. Like, he's not getting those big rebound games anymore. He's not getting the lobs that he got last year when he's sharing the court with Capella. So that kind of hurts him. He has to create for himself more, which is never really good. It's nice when Trae Young is like drawing in the defense, and then John Collins is getting the easy like dump offs, lobs, stuff like that. But we're not really seeing that just because Capella's there.
Yeah. Some comments on this game. Clint solid this year, lots of rebounds from Hasty, saying that he's getting all the boards that Collins used to get. And then another comment from Trigger, game narrative. He might swat RJ Barrett 6 times. RJ likes to drive.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't like if you think he swats him 6 times, then he's a lock on FanDuel. He's a lock on both sides then.
Yeah, 6 swats is a lot for sure. Okay, next up we have OKC against Miami. Let me load that up here. Okay, first up we can go over OKC injuries there. That European guy, the 7-foot guy, I don't know his name, Pokovsky or something like that, whatever it is. Yeah, and then Ty Jerome out for them as well. Starters, we have SGA, Hill, Dort, Baisley, and Horford. What do you think of the OKC side of this game? You shook your head.
So this is the lowest total game on the slate. I have no interest here. 10-point spread, lowest total. There's nothing here that we really want in DFS. I guess if you want to take the angle that no one's going to play it, you can get leverage, play someone like SGA. Yeah, he hasn't looked great, so like you can get him low owned. That's all I'm saying. No one else here that I really want to talk about. I don't really want to just waste time and go over these random guys.
We just got news about Fournier confirmed out with the back spasms.
Okay, so we'll have to see who. Oh, we got news that they're starting MCW again. So Fultz, MCW, Bacon, Gordon, Vucevic. Yeah, so that's interesting. We'll have to see what happens with projections, but yeah, we'll definitely circle back to that after.
And then we also have confirmation Ennis out as well.
Yeah.
Okay, back to Miami side, and then we can go over this game a bit more with the questions. Vincent out for them, or probable, sorry, Bradley and questionable. Starters, Butler, Hero, Robinson, Andre Iguodala, and Bam Adebayo. Any interest in Miami? Any of their players?
So Jimmy Butler, he's looked awful so far this season. Maybe like the thing is he had the 50-point game the first time out, then he got injured the next game, so he played like 16 minutes and then missed 2 games, came back last time out, scored like 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, put up like 10 fantasy points, so just an awful performance. Because of that, his price was reduced over on DK. 7.4, we never really see him that cheap, so that price does stand out for me. You could get him a bit lower owned just because people will see the game log and not want to touch him, but I do like that price tag a lot over on Draftkings. Outside of that, not really anyone here. I talked about how this game is it's the lowest total on the slate, 10-point spread, so no interest here outside of Butler on Draftkings.
Okay, some questions about this game. Diallo, a good deal from Hasty?
I mean, yeah, you'll get him at like 1 to 2% owned, so like if you think he can get you 30, that's how you take something down.
Yeah. And then another question from Hasty. I think he's all about the GPP contests. What about Kelly?
Kelly Oubre? I mean, not Kelly Olynyk.
Yeah.
Kelly O?
Kelly O.
Yeah.
Canada
I mean,
boy.
Kelly O, he plays blowout minutes, so that's nice. Minutes have been trending upwards, so price raised a bit. What's his price on DK?
Way cheaper. 4.6 on Fanduel and then 3.9. Quite a
Yeah,
bit.
so like, yeah, I don't mind that. Like, as a last piece, sure. In tournaments, I think he has upside. He also will get the blowout run, so yeah, I like that.
Kelly O Canada from Hasty. Triggers play today. It was Chetty 2 days ago. Yesterday it was Hernan Gomez, and today I think he's going with Baisley.
Baisley, wow. So he went from Chetty to Wancho to Baisley. So, I mean, he's trending in the right direction here. Baisley, he's definitely better than those 2 other guys. Yeah, I don't mind Baisley in tournaments.
Oops.
But like this game is awful from a DFS standpoint. So that's the only problem I have. But Baisley, he's looked good. Been rebounding the ball well. Been shooting it decently. Been getting some blocks. So yeah, I don't mind Baisley.
Okay. Sensitive man bun guy, Kelly O. Hasty like that comment. From Trigger. Next game we have Detroit against Milwaukee. Detroit side of things, we have Josh Jackson out for them, Griffin out for them on the back-to-back, he said, and then Rose is doubtful. Starters, we have Hayes, DeLon Wright, Bay, Grant, and Plumlee, Plumdog Millionaire. Any interest here?
So just before I go over this game, I just want to say If you guys like this content, give us a thumbs up. It helps us a lot. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. We saw a stat that said like 60% of the viewers aren't subscribed, so it helps us a lot if you want to do that. We do this every day, 2 hours before lock, so definitely some good stuff here.
Yeah, you're not gonna hear that promo from Chris often as well. So take advantage of his advice there.
I feel like we have to get it like during the middle of the stream sometimes, because that's probably when most of the viewers are here, and then at the beginning, like everyone's just still coming in. So
yeah, it's definitely more fun when we have more people here for sure.
Yeah. So on the Pistons, these guys are priced better over on DraftKings. This is a 16-point spread here against the Bucks, so we sort of want to get guys here that will play in the blowout run. So someone that fits this mold a lot over on DraftKings is Saddiq Bey. Like, he's without Blake, with D Rose doubtful, with Josh Jackson out, his price is just too cheap, 3.9K over on DraftKings. I like that a lot. Should see around 30, 34 minutes. Should get the start, so he's looked good. I do like that a lot. So Derrick Rose is doubtful. That's interesting. Makes DeLon Wright more of a play. I think he's still a better play over on DraftKings. He's 4K, FanDuel 4.4K, but the thing is we just have better pieces over on FanDuel in other games that we'll talk about, so I like him more over on DK at 4K. Cash viable, tournament viable. We obviously know the upside DeLon Wright has, just because he can do it all, like rebounds, assists, points. He does everything out there. Jeremy Grant, I probably don't love him. Like, tough matchup against the Bucks here. I don't really want to pay up for anyone. I want to get the value guys from this team instead.
Yeah. Okay, I just saw news Parker is confirmed out today.
Who's Parker?
Jabari Parker.
I don't even know what team he plays on this year.
Sacramento.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I just saw that. Yeah. And then we also have a comment from Trigger saying Plumlee is gifted. And then a bit later he said it's Miles, not Mason.
Miles is gifted?
Yeah, Miles is gifted.
Miles was on the Bucks before. I mean, yeah, I don't think he's in the league anymore, but he could be gifted, yeah.
And yeah, Jabari Parker, that's Ariane's favorite player.
All offense, no defense?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Plumlee's probably a bit too gifted for the league. He probably had to move on to something else. Okay, Milwaukee side, we have, in terms of news, let me see. Just Connaughton, notable out for them. Starters, we have Holiday, Dante, Middleton, Giannis, and Lopez. Any interest here?
No interest here for me, but this game really has some good plays for tournaments. They have the highest implied team total at 120. If you think it stays close somehow, you'll get Giannis at super low ownership. He always has potential to break a slate. 65 last game out in a 30-point game versus the Bulls. So I like Giannis in tournaments. No one's going to play him. He can always break a slate, so I do like that. Portis, he fits the mold where he plays blowout time, so if you think it blows out, he can get there as well. Outside of these guys, no, not too much here for me.
Yep. Okay. Some comments. Jabari Parker. Jabari Parker from Ariane, he likes him. Andrew says Plumlee, and then Hasty says Miles is in the Marines.
Yes, so I mean, like, the Bucks let Miles go. If you want to think that Mason has some narrative here to crush the team that let his brother go for it in tournaments, but not really a play for me. But I mean, if you're into that narrative thing, sure.
Narrative street, it's always a good one to end up on. Okay, next game we have Indiana and New Orleans. We can go over Indiana first. Injuries there, nothing notable. Starters, Brogdon, Holiday, Victor Oladipo, Sabonis, and Turner. Sabonis looks like he's priced up quite a bit. Like he's at 9.5 on DraftKings now. He started the season a bit lower. What do you think of him? He's got that upside.
Yeah, so I love Sabonis. I played him last time out against the Knicks. He didn't really perform too well for me, but this is a pretty nice game. Tight spread. Total is pretty low, but I do think this game has some potential. Without Warren there, we know that Sabonis is going to have the ball in his hands a lot. I love him in tournaments. Should absolutely just beast on this Pelicans front court. So I like him a lot in tournaments. If you play him in cash, last piece for me, like, don't mind him. Brogdon obviously had the big game last time out. He's priced up now. No interest there. Oladipo, tournaments only for me. Miles Turner, if you think he's going to continue like getting 5-6 blocks a game, I don't mind that, but we've seen it go down the last 2 games, only got 1. So I don't have any love for him. So just for the most part, it's just a bonus for me here.
Cash and GPP?
Yeah, I don't mind him as a last piece in cash, but I just don't think we need it. We'll talk about the Warriors game later. So yeah, but yeah, tournament play for sure.
Okay, last comment I think on Mason. He leads the Pistons in assists from Hasty. And then also Trigger's saying that Sabonis is starting to look like his dad, Arvydas? How do you say his name?
Arvydas
Sabonis.
Yeah, he's looked really good. He has the nice hair now too. Definitely gotta dig into what product he uses in that hair.
About the hair product here. Okay, Pelican side, Noah, nothing there. Just Thornwell out, and Gabriel probable. Starters, we have Ball, Bledsoe, Ingram, Williamson, Adams. Any interest here?
So just as I always say with this team, like Ingram, I like him a lot in tournaments always. I just think he has a big ceiling every time out. If his shot is falling, like, he can absolutely crush a slate. Zion, he hasn't looked good. You'll probably get him at low ownership here just because he hasn't looked good. Assist rate has gone down a lot from last year, so that's a little concerning.
We have him at 20% on Fanduel. You said we're not gonna you'll catch him at lower ownership. Do you think that's more of a DraftKings thing, or?
No, I think with Randall, people will go there. He has a great matchup against the Hawks, and then Begley will mention him. He's too cheap in the best game environment, so I just don't think a lot of people will go Zion. They see his game log; it looks pretty bad. So, outside of Zion, like Bledsoe, obviously he went 10x last game, which was pretty surprising against the Raptors. If he sees 32 minutes again, he stands out, but I don't think we can rely on those minutes. I think he's more around just like 24, 26. So not really much interest there. This is a pretty tough matchup against the Pacers. That's also why I think people will be off of Zion. But yeah, like Adams, maybe he should see around 30 minutes. Tournament only for me. Not really anyone else here.
Okay. Trigger saying Brandon Ingram future MVP. I think you like the odds of that one, right?
Yeah, I think he's going to be like a top 5 player in 2 to 3 years.
Yep, and then Hanson's saying Bledsoe a good price again today at 5-1. And then he's also asking, Hanson's also asking if Sabonis is too high. He's been trending way up, but also performing.
So with Bledsoe, like I mentioned when I went over them, it's all about the minutes. Like if he sees 32 minutes, 5.1K is a great price tag. If he sees 25 minutes, it just won't get you there. We have better pieces elsewhere, so that's the only concern. On a smaller slate, sure, but I don't have too much love for it. And then Sabonis, I do like Sabonis a lot. 9.2K it's probably fair. Like he's seeing high minutes, high assist rate, high rebound rate, shooting the ball a lot, getting some blocks and steals. So he's like, I mentioned this before, he's like Jokic of the East, so I do like Sabonis a lot. Yeah, I don't mind the price tag.
Yep, and then some comments on Simmons here. If only Ben Simmons had his development. Hasty saying Simmons will never change, and then Trigger followed that up saying that he's going to have the same season for 10 straight years.
Simmons?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's definitely on that trajectory, just rolling past his NBA career, collecting his checks. Probably happy with that.
Yeah. Okay, let's go into the next game. Also said no chips for him. Next game we have Houston at Dallas. We can go over Dallas first. I think Porzingis is supposed to come back later this month, middle of the month, near the end of the month maybe. Still out though. Powell, probable. Doncic, probable. Starters, Doncic, Richardson, Hardaway Jr., Finney-Smith, and Powell. I think Richardson had a pretty decent showing last game, but we have Doncic back in today. Any interest in any of the Mavs?
So, obviously yesterday Luka was out. I don't think the injury is a concern. I think it was more to do with resting him on the front end of a back-to-back in a game that they thought they probably could win without him. Obviously, they lost it against the Bulls, but yeah, he's back today. I don't see any reason for concern with his minutes. So I do like him a lot. This is my second favorite game of the slate. This one should actually go under-owned just because we have high price tags on most of the guys. Luka in tournaments, I do like that. Probably go under-owned, as I mentioned. Yeah, no one else here with Luka back. Like, not anyone I want to touch. Just Luka for me in tournaments.
Okay. Hasty says you're spot on with why Luka sat. Hasty's not a fan of the rest.
Yeah.
I know that. And then he also says Jalen did well last night. Yeah, he crushed the slate.
Yeah, I mean, like, every time we see Luka out in previous seasons, we always jam in Brunson if he's starting. Brunson was hurt for a bit, so it was Burke at some points. They always smash with Luka out just because the offense sort of funnels towards the point guard getting all the shots and all the opportunities.
Yeah. Okay. Houston side of things, Kenyon Martin Jr. in, Mason Jones out, Harden in, McLemore in. Starters we have Wall, Harden, House, Tucker, and Christian Wood. Wall, he looks really, really good. Like, it's good to see him playing at that level again. But what do you think of him when Harden's back in? Is he one of those guys you're more interested in playing without Harden, or?
Yeah, so definitely more interested in playing him without Harden, but his price tag is still fair. I like him more on DraftKings, 7.6K. I like that in tournaments. 8.5 on FanDuel. I'd probably stay away. I don't think he sees the usage that will justify that price tag with Harden in. But obviously he had the big game the first time out with Harden, put up 44. So price tag is fair, I guess. Maybe I'm a little bit wrong on that. He's been shooting 20 plus shots. That's always nice. You usually don't get guys who shoot 20 shots at this price tag. So probably maybe a better play than I think on FanDuel, 8.5K. Don't mind that in tournaments. Obviously, as I mentioned, price tag is better over on DK. Christian Wood, also better on DK, 7.4 compared to 9.1 on FanDuel. So if you want to take some shots on him, I do like that over on DraftKings. That price tag works in cash games for me, in tournaments, and then on FanDuel, no, I don't have interest in him. Harden, I'll quickly touch on him. Probably going to go under-owned as well, just because we're going to target guys like Steph in the next game. And then the rest of the build is sort of mid-range, so we don't have the value to get to Harden today, or at least right now it seems tough. So not too much interest for me. Obviously, he has 60-point upside, 70-point upside. So, yeah, if you want to take some shots in tournaments, I don't mind that. If you want to play him as a last piece in cash games, I don't mind that either.
Okay, quickly, before we jump into the next game, Burks confirmed out today for the Knicks.
Yeah, so that's when we went over that game, I said he's been questionable all the time, and then he always ends up being out. So, bumps up RJ Barrett, bumps up Alfred Payton a little bit. Randall as well, just more shots for their guys, more minutes. Then Dennis Smith is also out as we expected, so yeah, bumps up their ball handlers.
Yeah. Also, I think we just got confirmation Smith out and Spellman also out today. Brunson, Hasty is a fan of him. Is that a player that you'd expect Hasty to like? Jalen Brunson?
Yeah, he plays hard, plays defense. Moves the ball well, so yeah, for sure.
Okay, and then some comments on the last game, the Houston game. Wall and Wood look nice tonight. Harden will rest from Hasty.
Oh yeah, do we have Harden? I think he's in actually. So
Yeah, we have him in right now.
Yeah, he was questionable earlier. We got news that he's available to play, so I don't see any reason for him to rest. But Wall and Wood, they stand out more on DraftKings.
Yeah, and then Trigger with a good take. For once, not for once. He's got really good takes always, but this one I think is like a real take here. Christian Wood is an actual freak. I mean, the last freak we had was Plumlee. Who did we have before that?
We had Blancho, we had Chetty.
Gifted.
We had Chetty with the 360 dunks. But yeah, Christian Wood definitely gifted athletically, and he has really good hands, which is nice to see for a big man. Yeah. I like him a lot with Houston.
Yeah, he's really good. Okay, last game we have Sacramento Kings against Golden State Warriors. We can go over Sacramento first. Injuries for them, we have Halliburton out for them. Starters, we have Fox, Hield, Barnes, Begley, and Holmes. You mentioned Holmes earlier. Yeah, what do you think of the Kings today?
Yeah, so this is the highest over-under of the entire slate. It's at 235 right now. I probably expect it to go up even more as the night goes on. Tight spread, 2 points, favoring Sacramento. All these guys are too cheap for this matchup. The Warriors, obviously, they're not good defensively. They play fast. Just everything looks good. Prices are low on these guys. So guys that stand out for me here, De'Aaron Fox in cash games. I like him a lot on both sites. I think he's a little bit more over on DK. He's 8.2, 8K on FanDuel, so fair price tag on both sites. Buddy Hield, he's always the guy that has a bad price tag on DraftKings and a good price tag on FanDuel, so his price is, I think, 5.7 on FanDuel, so that stands out for me in cash games.
Yeah, 5.7 and 6.8 on DraftKings.
Yeah, so too expensive over on DK for me, but definitely a great play on FanDuel. Bagley, we can mention him. I like him in both formats on both sites. He's 4.8 on FanDuel, 5.5 on DK. So better price on FanDuel, as with most of these other Kings. And then last guy here, Rashawn Holmes. I think he's also a really good play on both sites. He's been seeing like 30-plus minutes. He always has block and steal upside, rebounds the ball well. So, yeah, he gets like easy looks from Fox, easy dump-offs, easy lobs. So I like that a lot. 6.3 on FanDuel. As we mentioned with Capella, you can use Capella as some leverage over Holmes, but I do like Holmes a lot. He's more of a last piece. He's not someone that I'm necessarily going out of my way to get, but on DraftKings, the price tag is 5.6, so that's something that stands out to me. I think he's a lock over there, but on FanDuel, like I said, last piece, don't mind that. Yeah, so just a lot from this game. Harry Barnes, revenge game, obviously, against the Warriors. I think he had like 4 or 5 years there, won a chip or 2. So if you're into narratives, you have that. Probably a little too expensive for me. The game log has looked good, so if you're into that sort of thing, Harrison Barnes stands out. But yeah, just a lot of good plays from here. They're too cheap for the matchup.
Yep.
And I just want to mention, if you're winning money like going into this game is 2 hours after the game before. This is the last game on the slate. So if you're winning money before this game starts, like don't expect that to hold just because this game will be so chalky.
Yeah. Do you think there's any impact Jabari Parker being out? I know Ariane, he didn't ask that, but he's thinking it for sure.
No, so he hasn't played at all this season. I think he's more of like in the NFL we have practice squad. I think Jabari Parker is equivalent to the practice squad in the NBA. Like he's just out there to get the main guys some run.
So not even exercising the games, but exercise in practice.
Yeah.
Okay. Apparently Hanson's dropping some knowledge bombs in the chat. Let's see what's going on. Hasty says Holmes is a sleeper. He looks good. Hanson says thoughts on Barnes in general. Usually not interesting, but he's been playing well in a lot of minutes. Price might even look fair. And then he also says Curry at, we'll go over Golden State, but he says Curry at 9.5 all day. Over 11.3 for Doncic and Harden.
Yeah, so with Harrison Barnes, like he's 6'1" on FanDuel. Like we can get guys like RJ Barrett for that same price tag. Not better matchup, but just more condensed usage for him. he's like their main ball handler with Randall, so I like that more than Harrison Barnes. Most of the shots are funneled towards Fox and Heald. As he mentioned, Barnes has been seeing more minutes, so like I don't mind it. Revenge game, obviously, but just for the price tag, I think we're overspending here, like probably by $1,000. And then, yeah, to touch on Curry before we get to that game, yeah, he's definitely a better play than Doncic at 11-3. But for that reason, you can use Doncic as leverage in tournaments. Yeah.
Okay. And about Parker, one last thing. Hasty says he's a bum and that he was nice in high school. I think Hasty knows all the high school mixtapes.
Yeah, so he was touted, I think, as the next LeBron in high school. I forget what school he went to. It was like a yellow jersey. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, I believe, and like touted as the next LeBron, as I said. I think he had 2 ACL injuries, one in both knees. I mean, one in each knee. So, or maybe he had 2 in the same knee. I know he had 2 ACL injuries, but yeah, definitely a rough career so far for him. Doesn't play defense, but whenever we get the spot starts from him, we always love him in DFS.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go over Golden State quickly. Wrap this slate up. Let's see. Golden State side of things, no new news there. Starters, we have Curry, Oubre, Wiggins, Green, and Wiseman. Other than Curry, do you have any interest here? What do you think of Green's impact for the Warriors? Do you think he has an impact or no?
Yeah, so as a real-life player, I think Draymond Green has a really big impact. Obviously, we saw that last night. He played like 26 minutes. I think he was one of the biggest reasons that Steph Curry got 62. So I think he does have a big impact, but just no interest there in DFS for me. We don't know if he's going to rest tonight. It's the back end of a back-to-back, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. Let's see here. Yeah, so tight spread, highest total on the slate. Steph Curry cover boy today on our thumbnail. I like that a lot. Obviously put up 62 yesterday, 31 shots. Like we're expecting 20 to 25 shots from him for this price tag. It's just too cheap. We have a projection of 53 on DraftKings, 50 on Fanduel, so I think it's fair. I think he can get there in this matchup. Shouldn't see any restrictions on the back end of a back-to-back. Not a long trip. Actually, it's at home again, so yeah, no worries for his minutes for me. Wiggins and Oubre, they're cheap. I don't mind them as last pieces in this elite game environment if you want to go there. I like them more on FanDuel. Wiggins is 6'3", Oubre is 5'2". We get some upside if Draymond sits. So yeah, I do like those price tags. But on DraftKings, it's just Curry for me. I like him 9-3. That's a lock for me.
Okay. Trigger says Draymond Green laughing emoji. I think he thinks he's washed probably. He says he's going to average 0.5 points on the year.
Yeah, so like he's not someone we love in DFS anymore. He used to be, but I don't know. Maybe we'll play him when he's off the minutes restriction, but for now, I like his impact. I think it keeps the games competitive.
Okay. With that said, I think that's the whole slate overview. If you guys are enjoying the content, be sure to like the video. That helps us out a lot with discoverability. Also, if you want to come back here again, subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notified when we go live. It's 2 hours before every main slate, each and every day. It's solid DFS content. It's all free. Yeah. Do you want to go over the core locks on FanDuel first?
Yeah, so we got the Evan Fournier news before. I'm just updating that. I think it makes Michael Carter-Williams a really strong play. We got word that he's starting again, so should see around 30 minutes. I'm not going to make him a lock right now, but I do think he's near a lock. But for now, I think we can just lock in Fox. Like I mentioned him, he's 8.2K over on FanDuel. Best game environment, so I do like that a lot. And then we'll stick to the same game here. We'll go with Buddy Hield. I mentioned his price is so much better on FanDuel. DraftKings, he's 6'8". Here he's 5'7", so that stands out at shooting guard. And then we can go to power forward with Julius Randle. Yeah, so really good game here as well against the Hawks. Obviously, no Alec Burks, so that helps Randall with the ball. Like, he's been assisting well, shooting well. Well, not shooting well, but shooting a lot, rebounding well. So we do like that. And then I mentioned Fox, Gary, so you should lock him in. And then Bagley as well. I like Bagley a lot, 4.8K from the Kings. Just these guys are underpriced for this matchup. So yeah, those are the 4 locks I have as of now.
Okay. Let's see some news. Pretty sure Rondo and Herter will be active for today. Comments we have from Hasty. Oubre 2 for 30 from 3. Do you think he is due or is he done?
Oh, he's definitely due for some positive regression. So I do like Oubre. Like, that 5-2 tag is probably, like, as you can see in these builds, he's popping up in 90% of them. So yeah, I like that price tag a lot.
All right, and then back to Carter Williams. He peaked his rookie year. I agree.
Yeah, he definitely did peak his rookie year. Okay, so yeah, with these builds, so in the first one we have
confirmed out.
Pardon?
Smart is confirmed out.
Oh, okay. So we'll have to see who starts for them. Obviously, Teague is out as well. We might get a Pritchard day. Like, if he's starting, he's near the minimum. So, well, if he's like I keep saying, if he's starting, we might have to lock him in. Yeah, don't want to do that, but with Teague out, with Smart out, we might just have to. So with these builds, we can just X out Marcus Smart now, I guess, because he's popping up in some, Gary, and then we can rebuild.
Should we bump up the Boston guys?
Yeah, just go to Boston. I guess we can touch on it a bit. Doesn't affect too much, honestly, but let's just see what we have.
Yeah, as you do this, as you tell me what you want to bump up, our tool does update this for you automatically in the background, so you don't even have to refresh the page. All of the updates for projections and ownerships, as they come out, we show you notification here and they update here. So you can already see Smart already went down to 0, but yeah, as the slate develops, we'll definitely be updating this in the background. So if you have access to our tool, you get all that stuff done for you.
Yeah, so for now, you can just like change Smart to 0. Obviously, he's out. Let's see. We can bump up Pritchard. I don't know. Like, let's assume he's starting. Probably give him around like 23.5. We can say that. And then Tatum, let's put him at like 46.5. Brown, give him 40. And then, yeah, let's see how that goes. Yeah, so still no Celtics here other than the 4th build. So let's see the difference between the first 2 builds. We have like a 0.8 projection difference, so that's pretty big. Usually it's a little tighter in NBA. So the difference here between the 2 builds is Curry, Wiggins, Barrett, and Holmes versus MCW, Butler, Ingram, and Vucevic. Don't love playing MCW just because I think that projection of 25 might be a little high. I'd probably put him at like 23 in my own build, so I don't love that one. I really like Curry today. Don't love Butler just because he's looked awful. Obviously, we mentioned Wiggins. I do like that price tag for him in the game that he's in. I love Ingram, but this matchup is tough. I don't think we need it in cash games. Barrett, conversely, I do like him a lot. No Burks, so that price tag stands out for me. And then Holmes, we also went over him a lot. Just as a last piece here for the Kings against the Warriors, I do like that price tag. And then Vucevic, I do like him a lot as well, but just with the other pieces, I do like the first build here more.
Yeah, Hasty saying Pritchard should be bumped up to a 30.
A 30?
Yeah.
Well, like realistically, if you're thinking about how he gets to 30, is it with points, assists, rebounds, steals? Like, how would he get there? Like, if I'm guessing what his stat line would be, it's probably going to be like, assuming he's starting, probably around 9 points, like 4 assists, maybe a steal or two, a couple of rebounds. So I think 23 isn't a bad projection for him.
Yeah.
But I mean, let's try bumping him up to 30 and seeing how much he pops. Like, he'll probably be in every build. Let's just see how that changes things.
I put Trigger in here because he just said that we're sleeping on him.
On Pritchard?
Yeah. I think he's probably is he the lock today for him?
Yeah, so we went from Baisley to Pritchard. I like Pritchard more with the smart news. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Also, Trigger saying fading Curry is scary today.
Yeah, I mean, if you play Pritchard here, if you put him at 30, you're not going to get much Curry. So that's what you have to do. I think 30 is a little egregious for him. I mean, like, I don't see many paths for him to get to 30. This build is pretty nice. Like, now we get Vucevic instead of Holmes. Now we get Ingram over Barrett. Butler, don't love him, but yeah, like.
I mean, here's an option if you want to keep Pritchard and Curry. If you remove Fox, you'd have to get rid of Fox, right? And then Butler, I guess. Then you get Wiggins and Curry, but.
Yeah. So, I mean, like, yeah, I don't think he gets 30, so not really something I would want to do.
He can pull up from 30, parking lot range, 6 boards. Oh, this is Hasty's stat line. 13 points, 8 assists, 6 boards.
Yeah, definitely more than 30 then, so, I mean, just depends on how much you like him.
8 assists is quite high. Okay, do you want to go over DraftKings then?
Yeah, sure. Let me just pull it up real quick. Sorry, give me 1 sec.
Yeah, okay, as you do that, I guess I'll just plug in the optimizer or service. If you guys like the tool that we're using, we always go over the slate using our optimizer at dfscrunch.com. It gives you access to the optimizer, our projections, ownership projections, stats, different settings. You can do GPP, mass multi-entry, single entry lineups, whatever you want to do. It helps you out with that across all bunch of different sports. Let me load up the sports. There's a bunch here. Any favorite sports, Chris, for you? Is UFC starting back up soon? You like that one?
Yeah. What's the day today? Yeah. So in, I think two more weeks we have UFC, which is always fun. Optimals and projections are sharp for that. Really sharp for both sites.
Yeah.
NHL, obviously, I think in 10 days, so that's fun.
Oh yeah, NHL.
NFL, it's closing out, but we got some playoff games. We have the wild card games next week, so I do like that a lot. Yeah, so definitely, I'm a fan of the main sports. We also have the college sports, which are nice, but yeah, I like playing what I watch. I don't really watch college sports. That's the reason I don't play them.
Yeah, so definitely check it out. It's only $25 a week, $75 a month, and you get access to all of that. You get access to our Discord as well. And right now we have a 3-day free trial. Any subscription plan includes it. If you just start checking out, it includes your 3 days for free if you're a first-time member. And yeah, you ready for DraftKings then?
Just before we do this, I want to go back to Fanduel. With the Pritchard build, let's try removing our core locks. I want to see how that changes things. Just because... Oh, we don't have any? Oh, you're on boss. Yeah, so just remove these guys and let's see what happens to the build.
Get him out of 30 or what?
No, this is going to be with Pritchard at 30. I think we'll get more Curry. So let's see. Because we had Fox locked, that's why we weren't getting Curry in that build.
Still no Curry. Or no, one Curry, number 7.
Yeah, so but now we have different teams up top. Now we're getting guys like Embiid. We're getting so this build I like this build a lot more than the one we had before with the Pritchard at 30. But yeah, I don't know if they're trolling us with all this Pritchard talk. If he's starting, we'll definitely bump him up. But we still have to wait for that.
Yeah. Confirmation Kevin Herter's in today.
Yeah, I think Rondo is in as well, as you said earlier.
Okay, who's your first lock for DraftKings then?
It's Curry, just 9.3K, too cheap for me. I like that price tag more than Fanduel. That's why he wasn't a lock over on Fanduel, especially with this new value opening up at point guard on Fanduel. I don't think he's necessarily as good of a play. And then next up, I think DeLon Wright is super nice. 4K, no Josh Jackson, no Blake Griffin, Derrick Rose doubtful, so just opens up a lot of good stuff for DeLon Wright.
Before you go on, just on Rondo, he's game time decision still. Just got a Twitter news on that. Still questionable.
Yeah, so it doesn't really affect things too much, honestly. Like, he's not seeing the minutes that we want. So yeah. And just to finish up on DeLon Wright, obviously former Raptor. I know you like that.
Yeah.
I think they should have kept him. Should have kept Joe Val instead of moving them for Gasol.
Wright got Van Fleeted. Like, Van Fleet kind of took over instead of Wright. I think Wright was playing more minutes, and then Van Fleet started cooking.
Well, I think actually Wright was playing well, and then like he got traded to Memphis. He played well in Memphis. He got traded to Dallas, played all right, and then now he's sort of just hopping around teams. Hopefully he ends up on the Raptors again. I do like him. Next up, Sadiq Bey. We mentioned him. Also a Piston. These Pistons stand out more over on DK. They're cheaper. They fit the build. They let you get guys more expensive. So I do like that. And
Pritchard
then
over
next
Carter Williams. We have a comment on that.
Yeah, so like Carter Williams, if he sees the minutes, he can get there. We obviously know he has a pretty low floor as well, but he rebounds the ball well, so that's nice. Just depends on if his shot is going. I don't know if we need it today. We have a big slate. We have value elsewhere in guys like Wright, guys like Bey, and then over on Fanduel, guys like I don't know. It's just on Fanduel. I don't think we need it just because these Kings are so cheap. So not too. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But he's definitely not a lock for me. More of a last piece in my cash builds. Next up, we can add De'Aaron Fox to this DraftKings build. I think his price 8.2 is too cheap in this elite game environment. I like that a lot. Obviously, upside for 50. That's always nice. And then last guy, Rashawn Holmes. I think that his price is much better here on DK, 5.6K. Should see like 30 plus minutes, as I mentioned when we went over this game. So yeah, I do like that a lot in this matchup.
Okay, let's hit build, see what happens. Hasty, I think the brain trust in Boston, trust Pritchard not to fuck up.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess so. He's Danny Ainge's boy, maybe. Like, we'll have to see who's starting, as I keep saying.
Okay. Here it is. What do you think of the first one?
So I just want to mention our projections actually updated. So now we're getting some Pritchard in here. What do we have him for here on DK, Gary? Can you just open that fifth team?
Oh, fifth team, yep. 21.
Yeah, so we have him 21.28. I think if he's starting, it's going to be bumped up to like probably 23, 24. And then obviously if he's at 23 or 24, this fifth team will be ahead of the first team because it's a 1.7 projection difference right now. So yeah, we'll have to see if he's starting, as I keep saying. But I do like this fifth team. Like 3.7 is a fair tag for Pritchard. No Teague, no Smart. Maybe I'm too low on him. Maybe I'm giving him too much crap here. Yeah, so let's see. Let's just compare these two teams, 1 and 5, I guess.
5 apparently is the Millie Maker from Trigger.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely nice. Like, all these guys are guys that I went through in depth. Like, Pritchard, he's the only guy I don't like here. But DeLon Wright, he's obviously a lock. Tatum, 8.6, just way too cheap for him. No Smart, no Teague, so more shots for him, even though he already shoots a ton. Sadiq Bey, obviously a lock. Rashawn Holmes, lock as well. Curry, lock as well. RJ Barrett, 6.7, a little expensive on DK, but no Burks. Should see around 40 minutes, which is pretty insane. So don't mind that price tag. Really good matchup against the Hawks. And then De'Aaron Fox, obviously a lock. The difference between the first two teams is Capella and, let's see, Capella Bullock versus Pritchard Barrett. So honestly, I like the fifth team more. Like, I never like playing Reggie Bullock. He's just too scoring reliant. I guess the scoring system over on DK fits him more just because he shoots the threes. But like I said, I don't love playing Bullock ever. So I actually like this fifth team surprisingly more than the first team.
Yep. Hasty, I like Pritchard so much today because no Kemba, Smart, or Teague. Well, I think that would be the reason to go to him, right?
Yeah. So like, probably we are expecting him to start. So he'll probably be bumped up a little more in the projections as we get closer to lock.
Yeah. The hate on him is real. Mostly coming from Chris.
I mean, I'm gonna probably have him, and then hopefully I win. Then I'll start giving him a bit more love.
All right. Okay, projections updating. Anything else to go over? Is that it? Any questions you guys have about construction today, or our optimizer, anything like that? Go over those now. Last plug for the day. Be sure to like the video. Helps us out a lot with discoverability. Also subscribe and hit the bell button so you get notified when we go live. It's 2 hours every single day before the main slate. Good free content. It's like a 1 hour slate overview. A good place to hang out, and yeah, it's a good time here. And then if you want to try out the optimizer, our projections, and join our community on Discord, you can do that at dfscrunch.com. 25 a week, 75 a month. All plans for new members come with 3 days free trial, and it's really good value. Lots of sports, lots of stuff. Good community, good place to win, good place to grow your bankroll. I don't think there's any more comments. I think we can start. Oh, one more. Any GPP pivots?
Do we know the site?
Billy, what site is that for? Just can guess Draftkings maybe. I don't know. Fanduel.
Look, on Fanduel, I like Ingram. I like his upside. I don't think he's going to be too high owned, so I'm a fan of Ingram. Tough matchup, so that'll obviously scare some people away. I do like that. Capella, I mentioned him on Fanduel. I think most people won't go to that 6.5K price tag, so don't mind that. And then Zion as well. Like, people will see the game log, they'll see the matchup, they'll probably want to stay away, but we obviously know Zion has 50-point upside, so I like that over on FanDuel. And then on DraftKings, guys probably like Jaylen Brown. You can use him as leverage over Tatum just because he's like a similar price, and Tatum is obviously the main guy there, so people will flock to him.
Yeah.
So I like Jaylen Brown in tournaments. LaMelo Ball, he's sort of fallen since we've got all this new news today, so I like him. People are going to probably be not as much on him. 5.6 on DK, that's really nice. So yeah, just LaMelo, I like him as a pivot, and then Jaylen Brown as well on DK.
Yeah, that was a FanDuel question. Okay, with that, we're going to go start building our own lineups. We'll be in the Discord answering any questions, bringing up any news that comes up. One more, Jaylen Brown has been lights out lately from Hasty. We actually do have some news now. Garland is out.
Garland is out?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
And also, I think Okoro's out too.
So this is pretty interesting. Projections will definitely change, so if you were building along with us, it's definitely not going to be the final team here today. But the thing here is I like Sexton a lot. I didn't mention this, but it's his birthday today as well. So if you're into the whole birthday narrative, maybe they're resting Garland here to give Sexton more opportunity on his birthday.
That's nice of them. That's real nice.
Yeah, so Sexton has looked really good. Definitely a huge bump to him with Garland out.
Yep. Yeah, I think there's no other news here. Okay, yeah, with that said, yeah, we'll be in the Discord updating, chatting, building lineups there. So if you guys have questions about anything there, we can answer them. We can help you out. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow, 2 hours before main slate. I think it's 4 p.m. again, Pacific time, 7 p.m. Eastern time. So 2 hours before then, we'll be live. And good luck today. Have fun. Happy birthday again to Chris, and see you guys tomorrow.